Hi, I'm T.D. Ricketts, a local author here in Oxford, and this is Read Me a Story. And today you get to listen to me read Motorcycles That Go Zoom and Vroom. It's written by T.D. Ricketts, myself, illustrated by Via Lewis, very talented young lady. Motorcycles have two wheels, and there are many different kinds. All kinds of people ride them. Dirt bikes play in the mud and jump hills. Their riders wear all kinds of protection. Cafe racers go really fast. They ride on the roads or closed tracks. Trials riders can climb stumps. They go slow and climb all kinds of stuff. Custom bikes come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Choppers have long front ends that stick out. Baggers have all kinds of trunks, and they tend to go a long ways on the highway. Cruisers just like to ride all over. They're just happy to be riding. Mopeds are a different kind of motorcycle. They aren't as big or fast as most bikes. You can pedal them like a bicycle. Scooters are like a motorcycle, but not quite. You can step through them, and a lot of kids really like riding scooters. People that ride motorcycles are called riders. Some like to be called bikers. There are all kinds of clubs for different riders. Groups of riders do a lot of charity rides. They help raise money for people who need it. They help sick people and veterans in shelters. You can find all kinds of bikers in all kinds of places. One place you're sure to find them is an ice cream shop. There are a few things that all riders like besides ice cream. They like tacos and puppies. And they all like little kids. If you ask nicely, they might let you sit on their bike. Or maybe your grandpa would let you sit on his bike. And that's the end. Hope you like my story.
Welcome to Oxford Community Television. We are proud that our four communities continue to choose local programming, local news, sports, community issues, familiar faces, celebrations, and commitment to each other. Welcome to Oxford Community Television.
Welcome back to Read Me a Story. I'm T.D. Ricketts, and today I've got a story. OCTV's program manager, Connie Miller, her daughter Larissa, wrote this book under the pseudonym of L.A. Bert. And this book is called Big Feelings Are Like Farts. This is dedicated to the many students, families, and staff I spoke with in the wake of the 2021 Oxford High School shootings, who first heard the fart anthology from me. I love you all, L.A. Bert. Big feelings are just like farts. When you feel a fart coming on, sometimes you want to hold it in. But you can't hold your farts in forever. The longer you hold a fart, the bigger and stinkier and messier it becomes. Big feelings are just like that too. When you feel a big feeling coming on, sometimes you also want to hold it in. But you can't hold your big feelings in forever. The longer you hold in your feelings, the bigger and messier they grow. When you feel a fart or a big feeling coming on, it's best to deal with it right then and there. If you have to fart, try to step away from other people. Excuse me. Always say excuse me after, too. If you feel an emotion or big feeling coming on, talk to an adult that you trust. It is very important to talk about your feelings so that they don't become too big or too messy. About the author, L.A. Bert was born and raised in Michigan, about 45 minutes north of Detroit. Now living in Oklahoma with her 2 rescue cats and rescue dog, Louie, L.A. is an elementary school counselor. L.A. has worked as an emergency medical technician for most of her career thus far, both on the ambulance and in the emergency department, which is where she fell in love with psychology and became determined to find ways to help others better understand and work through their big feelings. As social media with the hashtag big feelings are like farts. Thank you for listening to this story. I'm T.D. Ricketts.
I used to think news is news. It's all the same. But it's not. There's a big difference between local broadcast news and cable news. See, local stations are part of my community, connecting me to local news, weather, and sports on every device. It makes sense. Get the news from the people I trust who actually live here. No agenda, no bias like on cable shout shows or social media, just facts. For news I can trust, I stay local. Support your local stations. Text TV to 52886 today.
So I'm Melanie. I'm here with K9 Stray Rescue League. I've been with the rescue about 5.5 years. I'm the foster coordinator here. I volunteer as well as I'm a board member. It's hard to get a good read on the dog, and it's hard to tell sometimes that a dog is a great dog when they're stuck in the kennel environment living on a concrete slab. And it's nice when they go into foster care because we can get a little bit better feel of who they are as a dog, and then we can find a better fitting home for them. We can learn if they do well with dogs or people or kids, cats for that matter. Cats in particular are really difficult for us here because we don't have cats on site. So if you do become a foster with us, we do provide everything, so it's not any expense to you. We'll provide you with the things that you'll need, such as a cage, food, if you need doggy bowls. We have support for you as well. So if you are interested in becoming a foster, email us at k9strayrescue@yahoo.com, and we will put you in touch with me, and we'll see if you're a good fit for fostering with us.
Welcome back. I'm T.D. Ricketts. Your next story is called Patty's Pumpkin Patch by Terry Sloat. Come look inside my patch and see a world of life from A to Z. The frost is gone, spring is here. Put the tractor into gear. Plow the field of weeds and grass. It's pumpkin planting time at last. A is for ant, B is for beetle. Dig the holes and plant the seeds. C is for crow. Keep them watered, pull the weeds. D is for dragonfly. Seeds grow roots and roots take hold. E is for earthworm. Stems pop up, leaves unfold. F is for fly. Pumpkin vines fill each row, leaves are high and the blossoms grow. G is for grasshopper, H is for hummingbird. Beneath the blossoms, pumpkins form. I is for inchworm, growing fast while it's still warm. J is for junco. Weeds grow faster day by day. K is for kitten. Stop the weeds by spreading hay. L is for ladybugs. Watch the pumpkins grow till fall. Orange and ripe, you cut them all. M is for moth. N is for nuthatch. Decorate the pumpkin stand. Paint a bright new sign by hand. O is for owl. Make some scarecrows out of hay. Pumpkin selling starts today. P is for pheasant. The patch is busy when it's light. Q is for quail. The patch is busy at night. R is for raccoon. Help your buyers pick and choose the size and shape just right to use. Big or small or in between, soon it will be Halloween. S is for snail. T is for toad. Have some pumpkin carving fun. Pumpkins grin when you're done. U is for underwing moth. V is for vixen. Let your jack-o'-lanterns greet spooky friends who trick or treat. W is for wren. X is for xylem. Now that Halloween is past, it's time to close the pumpkin patch. Y is for yellow jacket. Z is for zebra butterfly. The weather's changing, time to find the biggest pumpkin left behind. Scoop out all the seeds to dry, store away your spring supply. Oil and salt and roast the rest. Share them with all your winter's guests. The end.
Hi, this is Evan Carr, and I'm an AmeriCorps Vista.
Hi, I'm Kathy Dickens, Executive Director of Four County Community Foundation.
So Kathy, how did the partnership between Four County Community Foundation and AmeriCorps begin?
That's a great question. It was kind of almost divine intervention, if you will. The foundation had been engaged in working with food distribution during COVID. And that was a way that we could serve the public in a very meaningful and relevant way during COVID. And I actually just got an email that referenced AmeriCorps Vista having a program whereby we could have a summer work associate assigned to work in the food security sector. And at that time, we had just granted money and had conversations with 3 nonprofits that had gardens. And I thought, wow, this could be a fantastic partnership between those nonprofits, AmeriCorps Vista and Four County Community Foundation. And so basically it was all an email.
I'm glad, because that is how I got my involvement in food scarcity, is through this AmeriCorps program. So how exactly did Four County begin their food scarcity initiatives?
Yeah, again, COVID kind of drew attention to food security issues and food distribution issues in our area. And we service Lapeer, St. Clair, Oakland, and Macomb counties. And essentially, again, to be relevant and meaningful during COVID, we issued several $1,000s, I think between $30,000 and $40,000, to local food pantries, especially to provide them with freezers and refrigerators to be able to store foods that weren't shelf safe. In other words, cans and boxes will have a long shelf life, but some of the basics of life, the eggs, the milk, the meat, they needed appliances to put those in. And so we were able to commit several $1,000s to that, and that got me better associated and partnered with the local food pantries.
That's amazing. So how can people in the community become more involved in Four Counties initiatives?
Oh, absolutely. We're a phone call away. They can just call the office, Four County Community Foundation. We're housed in Elmont, but again, we serve the Four County area. And I love to receive phone calls just of inquiry, conversation, people who have maybe money they want to contribute, or maybe just a great idea. And so any of those are welcome, and we can have coffee and we can dream and we can make a difference together. That's what I live for. It's what the foundation lives for. We have 130 funds, actually over 130 different funds that we oversee. Each have their own purpose and their own mission within the Four County area. And I will say that related to the topic we're discussing, we did initiate in January a Feeding Families Forever fund. And my intent with that was to have an established fund that would be there forever and ever into perpetuity for food security in our Four County area. I'm very, very heartwarmed that that fund was endowed within a few months. It grew from 0 to about $17,000 within a few months. And so those dollars are earmarked for food security. So anybody who has a heart for that could definitely call us, and they could contribute straight to that fund again, or create their own. Or we issue grants to Samaritan House and many, many different food pantries. The Oxford Orion Fish, many of them we partner with. So that's, in many ways, we support food security.
And that's amazing. It's been nice to see all of the projects Four County has been able to complete and help their local area, and we're excited to see what they're doing next.
Welcome back to Read Me a Story. The next story is by a local author, Wendy Sura Thomson. She's out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, and does all her own illustrations. She wrote the story and did the illustrations. A boy named Ted got out of bed and brushed his hair and went downstairs. Ted sat in his chair and said a prayer. I'd love a pup. Yep. I really would. I'd be so good. We'd go for walks and have long talks. We'd play in the yard. We'd play so hard. I'd love a pup. Yep. Ted walked outside and took a ride on his blue bike to take a hike with his friend Mike. While on a trail, they found a pail. They found a nail and they found a quail. And then Ted found a sack. The sack was black inside, Ted looked inside and saw a pup. The pup was gold. He wasn't old. He seemed so cold. He yelped and cried, and then he tried to hide. Ted picked him up and said, "A pup." Ted kissed his head, and then he said, "I'll take you home." "Mom, please, can I keep him? I'll care for him. I'll share with him. I'll fill his bowl. I'll have a goal to walk with him and talk with him, to play with him and stay with him. He'll be my friend until the end. Please, Mom?" Mom smiled at Ted, then shook her head. She looked at Ned and she kissed his head. And then she said, "You'll care for Ned?" "I will," said Ted. Then Mom said, "Okay." Forevermore, Ted and Ned. The end. All right, I think we've got another story around here for you. We'll be back in a minute.
Every year, distracted drivers are responsible for nearly 2.5 million car crashes. The National Safety Council reports cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes. The NSC reports 1 out of every 4 car accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving. Texting or reading text takes your eyes off the road for at least 5 seconds.
How you doing, ma'am?
So if you were traveling at 55 miles per hour, you're essentially driving the length of an entire football field blindfolded. Once a driver has been distracted, it takes only 3 seconds for a car crash to occur.
Hello, this is Lomas Brown, ex-Detroit Lion, and you're watching OCTV. That's Oxford Community TV. Check it out.
Welcome back to Read Me a Story. I'm T.D. Ricketts, and our next book is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown by Charles Schulz. It's the 50th anniversary version. As Halloween approached, Linus sat down to write his annual letter. Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you'll bring lots of presents. Charlie Brown thought Linus was crazy. Linus's sister Lucy thought so too. You'll make me the laughing stock of the neighborhood, she said. Sally didn't think Linus was crazy. In fact, she decided she would join her sweet Babu in the pumpkin patch. They would wait for the Great Pumpkin to arrive together. When he checked his mailbox, Charlie Brown was excited to discover an invitation to Violet's Halloween party. I've never gotten a party invitation before, he said. Your name must have wound up on the wrong list, Lucy said. You were on the don't invite list. Good grief, Charlie Brown sighed. On Halloween night, the gang set out in their costumes. Linus stayed behind in the pumpkin patch and invited the gang to sing pumpkin carols. Lucy didn't want to miss out on the fun and just marched right past him. Sally thought about going trick-or-treating, but she decided to stay with her sweet Babu. Lucy pulled double trick-or-treat duty. It's so embarrassing to have to ask for something extra for that blockhead Linus, Lucy complained. I've got a chocolate bar, Pigpen said. I got a quarter, Schroeder exclaimed. I've got a rock, sighed Charlie Brown. Poor Charlie Brown got a rock at every house. After trick-or-treating, the gang went to Violet's party. On the way, they saw Linus and Sally still in the pumpkin patch. They'd already missed trick-or-treating. Would they miss the party too? Did they really think the Great Pumpkin would show up? The other kids couldn't believe it. Just wait until the Great Pumpkin comes, Sally defended. Linus knows what he's doing. The Great Pumpkin will be here. At the party, the gang listened to music and ate popcorn balls. All right, let's bob for apples, Lucy said. Back at the pumpkin patch, a shadowy figure was starting to rise up from the pumpkins. Linus was so excited he fainted. But it wasn't the Great Pumpkin. It was just Snoopy in his Halloween costume. Linus woke up. What happened? I was robbed, Sally yelled. I spent the whole night waiting for the Great Pumpkin when I could have been out trick-or-treating. Halloween is over and I missed it. Sally went home and left Linus alone in the pumpkin patch. Well, another Halloween has come and gone, Charlie Brown said the next morning. I don't understand it. I went trick-or-treating and all I got was a bag full of rocks. And the Great Pumpkin never showed up? He asked Linus. Nope, Linus admitted. Well, don't take it too hard, Linus. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too. Stupid? What do you mean, stupid? Just wait till next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see. Next year at the same time, I'll sit in the pumpkin patch until the Great Pumpkin appears. He'll rise out of that pumpkin patch and he'll fly through the air with his bag of toys. Just wait and see. Good grief, thought Charlie Brown. All right, I'm T.D. Ricketts, and thank you for watching Read Me a Story. I hope you've enjoyed the stories. My stories are available on Amazon. If you just search T.D. Ricketts, you'll find my story there. Thank you again.